Hey guys, welcome to the new show with
John ThunderHeart Robinson.
And Beenie Mann, and of course you know Mo. Because
Mo the service dog.
And the show is called A Different Perspective.
That's right.
Because it's all about perspective, and we'll bring the different perspectives.
Exactly. It's like I tickled her. You know?
I'm just excited.
Yeah, so am I. I'm jumping up and down, can't you tell?
Yeah, inside.
Wee. It's like the new phone books are here.
Oh, my name is somebody. No,
okay, yes. For those who don't know what that is, it's an old Steve Martin movie called The Jerk. So you have to go watch it now.
Right.
And see a different perspective.
Right. But anyway, so what the show is really about, because you all know, I like the woo-woo stuff, you know, the metaphysical, the things that we really can't explain, and my heart really sings when science comes together with all that, and comes up with the explanation, which, is it called metaphysics?
Well,
Or quantum physics. Is it quantum physics? It's one of those physics.
Well, we'll just call it a type of physics.
We'll just go with that. So, and, I mean, my journey began with my friend Barbara Harrington. It was about 5 years ago. When, I mean, I was always curious about, is there more? There must be more than what we're being told. And, you know, when the student is ready, the teacher appears, and poof, there was Barbara. And she literally opened up the universe to me. And Barbara actually introduced us.
Right.
I think she took me to your drumming circle for the first time, and then I did a reading with you at the Metaphysical Fair.
Right.
And we just became friends.
Yes.
And now we're doing the show.
Now we're doing a show. Look at this. This is what that's called synchronicity of the universe. You know?
No coincidences.
Yeah. And part of it is that even sometimes when people have doubts in things, when opportunities present themselves, like when we were speaking and you said, why don't we do a show together? And I was like, there's an opportunity. There's an opportunity right there.
Right.
And it's like, a lot of times we turn ourselves away from the opportunities.
Because we're scared.
We're scared, yeah. Well, what's this about? What are we supposed to be doing? Sometimes
we'll figure it out as we go along.
Exactly. Because that's sometimes the most fun type of exploration.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm all about. I just like to learn. I like to be involved. Sometimes I like just being the observer.
Right. Because you can learn a lot just by observing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially when I zipper my mouth.
The what now? My zipper's broken.
Yeah. I'm trying to get mine fixed. Right. Because, sometimes when we think we know stuff, we interject and we miss the lesson.
Right.
And so sometimes zippering up. So I'm asking all of you to listen and observe and learn.
Because there's a reason you have 2 ears and 1 mouth.
She's into math.
No, not really. I saw that somewhere and I was like,
yeah.
I should take that lesson to heart.
Yeah.
It lasted about 2 seconds.
Yeah. Well, at least it lasted 2 seconds.
Well, it's a start.
Yeah. So, I mean, the show is all about different perspectives.
Right. So why don't you tell a little bit about you? Who you are, what you do, why you do what you do.
Why I do what I do. Well, I'll start the thing. I was born and raised on Long Island, New York. And that seems to be the home of many psychics.
Really?
George Anderson, which was that's a name from the, I'd say probably early 80s into the 90s. That was very big.
Did I mention I was born and raised in Germany?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you couldn't tell by any accent.
What accent? I have a census. There is no accent.
There is no accent.
Anyway.
You will listen to me, and you will listen to me now.
Right now.
But for some reason there, being such a, I guess, densely populated area, that there were so many thought processes that are going on, different types of people and everything, and a melting pot, so to speak.
Right.
And I think that environment helped me in many ways to see life from a different perspective too. But you know, I didn't know I was psychic growing up or anything, though when I had the hindsight and looked back, certain events in life was like, oh my God, I guess I was aware back then too.
Right.
But I was always a very spiritual child. I really didn't consider myself religious, even though I went to church every Sunday, I went to Catholic school and all that stuff, and I knew the stuff, which later on I was able to see that a lot of it was past life resonance.
Oh wow.
That came over. Because how can I sit there and not study and answer all the questions in the religion classes?
You freak.
You know, and argue with them, and argue with the nuns and stuff like that about religious things and and stuff like that. But as I was growing older, I mean, I was one of those people that I was outgoing with my friends, but I was shy with people I didn't know. I couldn't public speak. I couldn't read. I couldn't read out loud.
Oh wow.
To some, you know, if there was anybody in the room, I couldn't read out loud. I would just stammer and stutter and you know, just go.
Yay, mental blocks.
Yeah, big mental blocks.
Wow.
And then, you know, and I was not the greatest in school because of mental blocks. I would know the stuff, but I would freeze when it came to a test. So my
Look
grades
at
were
you
always
now.
low. Yeah. Look at me now.
Now you can get them shut
I'm
up.
on being videotaped.
Oh, we can get no.
Right. Yeah, but you know the thing is that I was able to start looking at myself as I grew older and what I liked and what I didn't like, and what I wanted to change because I felt I had a mission of touching people, to helping people, helping this world say change or transform, and I realized that if I couldn't speak out in front of people, how could I achieve any of that? So I started putting myself in situations where I had to interact.
Well, and sometimes, I mean, we're all scared at one point or another,
Right.
and sometimes we just have to do it scared.
But I would
And
freeze.
the more you do it,
You know what I mean? I would freeze before that. It was the deer in the headlights. And
it's like, wow, wake up.
yeah, right. And it was actually a mental decision to say no. If I want to, you know, make a difference, or at least someone would use what I'm doing as an example for them to step forward and shine, right? You know, climb right up on my shoulders and take the jump into the next part. That's fine.
Right.
But if I don't take my step, how can someone else take theirs if I'm supposed to interact with them at some point?
That's true. And I mean, it all starts with us, with you. You know, take one step.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how big or small.
No, it could be a millimeter.
Right, as long as you move forward
Right.
into the direction that you want to go, it doesn't really matter how big or small, as long as you do it. And again, if you have to do it scared, do it scared. I mean, there's a lot of things I do.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh my gosh, you're so brave for doing that. And I look at them and I laugh and I was like, you know what? I was so freaked out before doing this.
Well, she bought a whole case of underalls, you know?
No, but I mean, but you just do it, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. And then, you know, now I look back at some of the things that I'm doing now, and I was like, I don't even know why I was scared.
Well,
That was the fear of the unknown, too.
Well, yes, and the fear of the unknown. I tell people when I do my readings and everything, and I have to remind myself constantly, that 98 or 99% of fear is an illusion. Right? Only 1% of fear can be fact-based.
Right. Do you know what fear stands for?
Tell me.
False evidence appearing real.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And I tell people, it's like, to get over your fear, become that forensic scientist and just ask questions. Be like this little kid, why? 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 And keep going, and keep going, and keep going. And you will find the answer, and the deeper you go, the more you realize that it's really unfounded. It's other people's beliefs that we picked up, and there's really, and for me, now these days, unless it's my life is in danger, you know, that real life or death,
real fear.
The real fear, the life or death fear, I'm just looking at it, it's like, you know what, I ain't got time. I want to do this, I want to try this, wham, and I'm going. Because fear, and because the fun is on the other side of fear.
Right. Well, true. It's so true. And most times, you know, when you're asking those questions, you're not asking anybody else. You're asking yourself.
Right.
You know, you're talking to yourself. Why am I afraid? Why am I anxious right now? Where's its basis? You know, search for the roots. And that's what this show, A Different Perspective, is searching for the roots. We're not here to judge anybody. We're here to get information out.
Okay, not
We're here
much.
to get another.
Because we're humans, we'll judge one at some point. Let's be honest.
Well,
but we're working hard not to.
We're working hard not to, and I mean, you know, like with
right.
Not judging is meaning allowing the person to speak, right? You know, in our minds we can do whatever the hell we want to do, in our minds. Right, but what we portray out front, it's, you know, some people say, well, I'm just honest with everything. Well, then you generally don't have a whole lot of friends. When, you know, honesty has to be tempered. It's not about lying. It's sometimes you just...
It's called tact.
It's exactly, where you don't spill everything
Mo's
out.
looking at me, it's like, woman, keep working on that tact thing.
Right. Yeah. You know, there are some people more in your face and some people more laid back. Right, but there's got to be a balance, you know, a happy medium in there, because then, you know, the people who are shy or who have had traumatic experiences can be so intimidated that instead of shining, they go crawl into a closet and cover themselves with the clothes.
Right. No, that's absolutely true.
So, you know, being truthful is good. You know, it's, but you have to have tact with the truth.
And then sometimes, you know, and I find sometimes...
And that's my perspective.
No, and it's a good perspective. No, but for me sometimes it's like, because I'm very straightforward, in your face kind of person, and I know that. And sometimes I'm telling myself, it's like, just zip it.
Yeah.
Just...
I try to be diplomatic. You know, if it needs to be told, I'll try to find a way that does it without, you know, scarring. But sometimes it's a 2x4. Sometimes they get whacked right over the head, because you could tell by the person, the way they act and everything, that the only thing they understand is
in
that
your face.
In your face, the brute force approach. And I'm not talking about nailing them.
No.
You know, but energetically with the words and the truth, where, you know, some people, like when I was a cop, I got in trouble.
I cannot ever picture you as a cop, and I know you were a cop before, and I just...
Yeah. But there were some people that, if I talked to them nicely and very pleasantly, they took that as a sign of weakness. And they come in your face and they try to intimidate, they try to do all these things.
But you know what? I think that's in general.
Well, this is a lesson for all.
Right.
You know, but when I was a cop, there were some people that I would use curses all the time and everything, and we're not supposed to do all that. And I got called in, I got, you know, in trouble, so to speak.
What the fire truck, man?
Yeah. But the one thing that I did explain, and I said, all right, now this person was raised in a family that the F-bomb was in every other word. You know, the baby said it all the way up to grandma and grandpa. This was their normal vocabulary, the vernacular, right? Now, this was a gang family, you know, they were all tough and all this type of thing. That when you were being gentle and nice, they took that as a sign that those people were submissive and they were the alphas. And they would, you know, they would be the dominant ones and come in and basically take over the whole situation.
Well, because it's what they're used to. That's their environment.
Well, that's exactly. So I used the words that they understood. I used the language, the body language they understood. And we were having this great conversation, but it sounded like we were cats and fights. You know, I mean, cats and fights. Cats and dogs fighting. I speak English.
I can help you. Trust me.
Yeah. Das ist gut, ja.
This is super.
So what happened was, you know, I explained that I went along, and I guess I explained it in such a way that they understood, and they were like, oh, I never thought of that. You know, they actually did that. I never thought of that approach. And you know, because I saw sometimes the confrontations that, you know, the person in the uniform and the non-person, you know, the non-uniformed person, the public, would end up banging heads, is because they didn't understand each other's language. Right.
That makes so much sense. I get that.
And
I totally get that.
So that came from trial and error, but that also came from observation and also being sensitive and listening to that internal
Well, you're also
guidance.
very an empath.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I got that information and I saw what worked. And I, when I worked in the jail, I generally had no problems in the wards I worked in.
Now, at that time, did you already know you were psychic? That you
Yes,
had
oh
noticed?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was doing it for many years at that point.
Oh, okay.
Everybody goes, what? Like when they see me now and they said, you were a cop, oh, well, what made you, so you couldn't do it anymore, the cop thing, because you became a psychic? And I said, no, I was a psychic, that all began when I was like 18, 19 years old, when I had that, we spoke on your show,
right?
The vision of an assassination attempt on the Pope, which I was able to pass the information on,
Right.
and the Pope changes the itinerary. That's back in like 1980 or something like that. But what went on was, I lost my train of thought.
Why you stopped being a cop?
Oh, why I stopped being a cop. Political changes within the system, trying to placate an idea of what the public had, not the reality of what was going on.
Gotcha.
But what the media and everybody else, the images that they portrayed, painted a picture that was false.
Hey, because the media is always right.
Yes. Well, I mean, the thing is, remember that commercial where the girl, the girl's like saying, well, I looked it up on the internet. It's the truth. The internet is the truth.
Oh my gosh.
The whole thing.
What do you mean?
Anything you get on the internet. Well, I looked it up on the
internet.
internet.
Why are you saying it's not?
Poor girl. That's a different perspective.
Hey, Google makes you smarter.
Yes, Google makes you smarter. And I mean, it certainly can, but which is real and which isn't real.
Right.
And sometimes it's almost impossible to tell.
It is.
Because the way, with our computers and everything,
right.
we can alter.
Oh, anything can be manipulated these days.
Oh my gosh.
And I tell people too, it's like when you see something, listen to your gut.
Yeah.
It's like, does it resonate with you? Does it ring true to you? I mean, really true to you. Not your ego, true.
Right.
But you true.
Right. And it's listening down here,
right.
not so much up here. But if you're getting it down here, but there's a but in there, that tells that but means to investigate.
Right.
To do more research, to ask questions, to not go on that one particular site. The big problem today, though, with the internet is now they have algorithms that lock you into specific areas. I mean, when you were younger, you could put in, I'll just use like sponges, right? And it would come up with every type of sponge there is in the world.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, but that would come up too,
Right.
But now, if it was sponges and you had an interest in like loofahs, almost all the sponges that are going to show up on your thing because of that algorithm is going to become.
And it's all companies that sell those things, so you buy them.
Right. I mean, when you.
It's sad. It really is sad.
Yeah. When
you know what I do a lot of times?
What?
I use the incognito window on Google.
Yeah.
On Google Chrome.
Oh, I didn't even know there was one.
Yeah. When you go, so when you have the little Google logo on the bottom of your screen, you just right click on it, and then it gives you a whole bunch, and one of them is incognito.
So you're getting some information here. I'm getting something. Yeah.
The more you know.
But yeah, but the whole point of this show is about really exploration.
Right.
Right. A different perspective on it could be healthcare. It could be.
It's like the whole thing, the mind, body, soul thing.
Yeah.
And it's like the holistic approaches, and it's the. There's so much.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna run out of anything for
I know, and the more people who watch and will have a way to connect with us.
Right, and subscribe.
So that where you can ask some questions, or bring up a topic, and we'll do some investigation on it. And we'll give you our perspective on it.
Right.
But we'll also ask you to
do your due diligence.
Do your due diligence, but also to send your ideas to us. So that we can, address it again and have that communication on another show.
Right, and it's not going to be just the two of us.
We're going to have guests.
We're going to have guests, so if you know of somebody that would be good for the show that, you'd like maybe get more information from and stuff, send us the info. You can drop it in the comments below, or you can email us, or anyway, and contact info will be at the end of the show, but, there's so much out there. And I wake up every day and it's like, ooh, wonder what's happening today. And it's just, whoa. Yeah. I'm in awe every day.
What excites you? You know,
Right.
like the other day, I was just talking to Beenie earlier that I did some music jamming with a person I had just met recently. And I had such a great time and excited and energy and everything
couldn't
else.
tell.
A different perspective came in because she did rock music in the past, and and I do like what I call sacred sound, meditation, you know, stuff that's really, I'll say, trippy head, you know, where you can go into without taking
Well, I
drugs.
mean, and the thing is like, and I love your music,
Yeah.
and I meditate with it,
Right,
and it's just really, it puts you in a different realm.
right.
And for me, it's like, I can't even explain that. It's like when I really need to disconnect, it's like, whoa. I just put my earphones in and I do the one with the whales.
Right, yeah.
Which one is that?
Earth, Sea, Air.
That one.
Yes.
And it's fantastic.
Yeah, and that one, we recorded, my friend Ken Cordes and I, we recorded live humpback whales, because there are actually sonophones in the ocean, you know,
Right.
at National Oceanographic Institute, and a lot of the countries have them, but you can have access.
Dory speaks whale too.
Yeah, we should have a little fish float by here.
Speak whale.
I'll take her back in a white jacket in a minute.
Have you watched Finding Nemo?
Yes, I have it at home.
So then you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do know what you're talking about. Yes.
I'm a dork, and I like it.
So, but we recorded live humpback whales, and then I played my didgeridoo
God, I
and
love
my
that
flute.
one.
And when I listened to that, I just kind of, I actually listened to the whales in the didge first, right, when we were recording. And, you know, I recorded the didge track.
Man, you know what? I love the didge is just like the best sound ever.
And the didge is a didgeridoo, for those who aren't familiar with the term didge.
It's this long
Yeah, and I'll bring it sometime.
wooden thing.
Yeah, I'll bring it sometime.
It's amazing.
And some of the instruments and
Right.
stuff. But the thing was that when I was doing that and I had the headphones on, I was listening to the whales, I was like, oh my God. And I told my friend Ken, I said, turn on the microphone now. And I kept the headphone on, and I just closed my eyes, and I was playing my flute with it. And I felt like I was communicating. Even though these whales were now recorded, they weren't live anymore. But I felt this energy like
That's amazing.
move. And when I recorded that and we put it together, and we did it in, it's recorded in 3D, so if you only listen to it on a stereo, try it with a headset.
I only listen to it with a headset because it's
Because it comes in, it's like circling you, and it comes around.
Yeah.
And
I remember when we first talked about that, you suggested to not listen to it while standing up. Do you remember that?
Yeah, because I saw somebody when I was working at the Metaphysical store, and they carried the CD, and they had, when they used to carry a lot of CDs, they had an iPad with all the music they had that they carried in the store, and someone had trouble sleeping, and I said, well, this helps you relax and can help you go into that space that you can fall asleep. And she put it on, and I said, just close your eyes so you don't have any of the interference of the shiny stuff in the store and people moving around. She closed her eyes and she almost fell over within like 30 seconds.
Oh wow!
And she tilted and toppled, and and I grabbed her and.
It was not me.
No, it wasn't her.
I do that without music these days.
But I noticed that that's what was happening when people closed their eyes. When I sampled people at the drum circle, I sampled literally 100 people.
Oh wow!
And one at a time with the headsets, and I had very good sound dampening, so they actually didn't even hear the drumming.
Oh wow!
Going out there.
And let me tell you, if you're in Colorado Springs or Colorado, full moon drumming in Garden of the Gods with this guy, amazing.
It's a lot of fun.
It is. The energy there is just, whoa.
And that album, which is about an hour long, was actually only going to be a track on the album that I have. That's only on our website. But yeah, no, it's about 5 minutes long. But we looped it basically so that you'd have this experience that you could really go very deeply. And because when I had sampled the people, they said, I wish this was an hour long. That's 99 out of 100 people loved it.
It is amazing.
Only one person didn't care for it.
Yeah, well, there's always one.
There's always one.
There's always one.
There's always one.
And that's okay, because not everything is for everybody.
No, exactly.
And that's perfectly fine.
And and I always liked the input. And all the music that I did on my other CDs, I sampled people with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd say, okay, can you listen to this and please tell me what you like about it, what you don't like about it.
And some of it you can get on Spotify.
Oh, you can get most of it, except the newest album.
Yeah.
But it's on.
Because I investigated.
Well, it's on Amazon, it's on iTunes, it's on Spotify, it's on many sites because
Right.
we have it. You know, we work through disc makers and CD Baby.
Okay.
And they, you know, we get the pro deal. And they distribute all the
Nice.
music electronically and so
That's
forth.
awesome. No,
So-
I think that's fantastic. But you also do, and you mentioned that too. You do life path readings?
I do. That's what I would.
I mean, and you did a few for me, and I was like,
Right. Yeah. Well, you know, I'm a psychic medium, but my mediumship isn't like it used to be. It kind of toned down and went more into what I call life path. And life path is not about necessarily your job. It's about your path for your spirit, you know, your soul, so that you can, you know, give you the homework assignments
Pretty
or
much.
thought processes to go through so that you can find that inner peace where you start
Right.
to become happy with who you are
And what
see
I
the
like too-
possibilities of your own
Right.
spirit and your
and
own.
what I like too, because you don't sugarcoat it either. It's like you put out what spirit tells you, and it's not always
No,
what people want to hear.
No, I've had sometimes some people get upset. One lady a while back was really angry, and you know, this is all bullshit and all this type of stuff, and I knew I hit a nerve there, but Spirit told me to give her this information, and you know, she needs to get the pie in the face
And some do.
because
I know there's times I do.
you know, so defensive, so caught up in what she thinks, you know, what she thought was right. And, you know, that people were, you know, her ex-husband was going out to get her. And,
Well, here's the
you know,
thing.
it was, you
The
know.
ego thinks
Yeah.
we deep down, we know that's why we act that way. When we get called out, I mean, when you call out a liar, you know, they get defensive. We're all the same in that respect, and there's sometimes there's things we have this idea even of ourselves that we put out, deep down we know the truth.
Right.
And then when somebody, you know, that doesn't really know us, tells us through the spirit and the cards, and it's like in your face, it's like, well, now I have to
Yeah.
take,
And then
I
it
have to
happens
take
over and over and over
responsibility.
and over and over, whether I pick the cards or they pick the cards.
Right.
But a lot of times, like when I do it, I don't start with the cards.
Mhm.
I tap in first and I start getting information.
You get to hold
And,
hands.
Yeah, I hold their hand, and that actually I don't have to, but it makes it easier to focus on that individual.
Right.
And sometimes, like, if they have like spirits that are coming with them that are strong and I want to tap into them first, not the other energies.
Right.
This helped. Holding hands. And I noticed that when I started doing, you know, the public metaphysical fairs, and I was getting overwhelmed, the energy. I'm like, it's like I got 60 million voices trying to clamor for me to, you know, hey,
Yeah.
pick me. You
Well,
know,
I learned that spirits love to talk. And when they realize that you can understand them and you can talk, because time, space doesn't exist.
Right.
And they will just hammer you, so you have to set boundaries. So if you
Well,
guys have
that's in
any of
life.
these gifts,
Yeah.
fine, I mean,
Yeah.
boundaries.
Whether you're
anyway.
living or deceased, you got to set boundaries.
Right,
Yeah.
you have to set boundaries, and it's like, and if you have any gifts that you're like, well, maybe, you're not weird. Don't believe what people tell you. You're not weird. You know, it's just a gift.
It is. Some people can paint, some people can draw, some people write. They're all types of gifts.
I have the gift of gab. Well, I'm a public speaker, so, you know.
Even when she wasn't a public speaker.
Well, technically, we all are public speakers
That's
because
true.
we all
If we
speak
walk
to
outside-
people. As soon as we
Right.
talk to somebody other than ourselves, we're a public speaker. Think about that.
Beautiful justification.
I know, right? It works for me.
It works for her. But you see our show. It actually will go all over the place.
I like it.
Our topics are free flowing.
Free flowing.
The new mouth.
Oh, you just got it?
Just new mouth, yeah.
Nice.
I might return it though because it's messing up some words.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
I would get my money back.
Yeah.
Well, every once in a while I stumble over my words.
Yeah.
And I just get blah, 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 and then I just do this. Blah, 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 blah. You know.
I understood everything she just said.
It happens. We're humans.
Yeah, we are.
We're not robots, not machines. We're just people, just like you.
And for the most part, this is going to be raw. It's not going to be super edited or anything else.
No.
When we make mistakes, you're going to see them.
That's right.
So,
Because
just to show you that we are human and we're not perfect.
no, perfect is an illusion anyway.
Right.
So it's like no.
But if you look at me, you're coming very. No, I'm kidding.
funny you say that,
Yeah.
because I remember when my kids were younger, they're like, "Mom, you're just perfect." I'm like, "No, but I'm so darn close. It's scary." But here's the thing: we are all perfect in our own way.
Yes, the uniqueness.
Right, and it's like I love my perfect imperfection. Perfections. Anyway, those things.
Those words.
Those, yeah.
Yes.
Blah, 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 you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but I mean, that's what makes us us.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm me, you are you are you, Mo is Mo, who's sleeping right now. But that's okay too, you know. But I mean, and here's the thing, I mean, we are who we are. And what I love is that no matter what, wherever you are in life right now, whether you like it or not, you can change. Right now.
Yeah.
That's what that's powerful, man.
Well, it is, and it comes with the thought.
What? A thought?
A thought. The change
after
comes with a
thinking?
thought.
After thinking?
Yeah. Right. When if you have a thought that goes on, say that it's a non-supportive thought. Say you're beating yourself up, like I can't do that, or I really suck at that. Right.
Stop that.
Well, it is. It's about changing it. At that point, is acknowledging that you said it.
Well, first you have to be aware.
Well, that's
that
the
you're
thing.
saying the key is awareness. I mean, the power of awareness is huge, and I tell people get off autopilot.
Right. So it's about watching what's coming out of the mouth, watching internally what you're thinking. Is it supportive of you or not? I mean, if you have everybody telling you suck, you suck, you suck, you can't do that, you can't do that.
Oh, you believe that.
You start to believe it, especially when it's happened when you're little.
Mm-hmm.
And you're growing up, and then all of a sudden you're conditioned into that belief system.
Happened to me.
But it happened to all of us in many ways.
Right.
Even with supportive parents and loving parents, there were certain things that they didn't like, and they didn't want you to do.
Well, but it's not just the parents, it's like everything around us.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is that when you start to honor yourself,
mm-hmm.
and you start to investigate what works and what doesn't work, and the whys of things.
Right.
Right. It's homework. I mean, it takes effort. But if you want to grow and you want to...
You mean I have to work and be responsible and like
goodness, yes.
take action and what?
Right.
Yes, you do.
A friend of mine, he, was in AA, and I think he's still in AA, and he says his life changed when he said, I take responsibility for everything I'm involved with.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Everything I say, everything I do. He goes,
That's huge.
take personal responsibility. All right. A lot of people say, well, they made me do it, or they point fingers at everybody else.
But that's part of our society. You get to blame somebody for, and make excuses, but ultimately, it's up to you.
Right.
It's,
and if
how
you want to be
react.
happy, if you want to grow and say you want to be a multimillionaire, right?
Working on it.
Yeah, working on it. You have to take certain steps to get there. It just doesn't get handed to you. Mom isn't responsible for you being happy. Dad
Nobody
isn't
is.
responsible.
You are responsible for everything.
So, part of this show is about bringing up how people got to where they are today too.
Right. Well, I mean, and I learned recently.
Or what they found was important or wasn't.
I know. A while ago I learned. And that was a hard pill for me to swallow when I found out that I am responsible for everything in my life, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, everything. At some level of consciousness, unconsciousness, I attracted everything in my life.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's not my fault, that I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. It's not my fault that I was diagnosed with lipedema. It's not my fault, blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying it's my fault. I'm not saying it's your fault. But at some level, I attracted that.
Right.
I attracted the childhood that I had. At some level, I attracted it. Now looking back, I know I had to learn to break that cycle. That was the lesson I had to learn from that. That there's a different way, there's a better way, and I don't have to follow those footsteps. But I wasn't aware at the time. Well, now I am.
Right.
So.
And so this show, A Different Perspective.
I really like the name.
Yeah, it's good. Who thought of that?
I don't know.
Me either.
There's these two people, man, two weirdos that just got together and bam.
Yeah.
But there's no coincidences.
Not really.
Because,
Not really.
I was ready, you were ready, and now we're ready together, and here we are.
Yeah.
And it's just fun.
Yeah, and this is, we're hoping that those who watch this pass this on to others.
Share it, and,
Yeah, and, give us a chance.
Yeah.
Right? And by giving us a chance, you're giving other people a chance, because this
Right.
might ignite someone's desire to do something similar or better, or
Gooder is a word.
gooder, yeah, much gooder. So, thank you for taking this time, letting us
Thanks for being
travel
here.
all over the place.
Chasing squirrels.
Chasing squirrels. That should, something? That's another show we're going to do. We're going to call it Chasing
I like
Squirrels.
that.
I like that. Maybe we'll change it to Chasing Squirrels. Chasing Squirrels, A Different Perspective.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah. So you've been listening to Chasing Squirrels, A Different Perspective.
Doesn't quite ring right yet. We'll work on it.
You can wear the squirrel outfit.
I don't have to wear a squirrel outfit. I mean, look at me, I'm squirrel. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll put the contact information at the end. And leave your comments below, subscribe, and get engaged.
Right.
Share your story.
And the only 4-letter words I want to see on the bottom of that is good. No.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
Oh,
Good.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching, guys. Till next time. Bye.
Bye.